Hello and welcome back to the Open Garage. This is episode number 6, and today we're going to be talking about EV technology. Now, there's been a lot of talk about this in the news lately, and full disclosure, I haven't done much research for this episode at all. I'm quite literally going onto Car and Driver, and we're going to look through some articles, and we're going to talk about whatever I see that might be a little bit interesting. So I was looking at an article the other day, and it basically was talking about, where is it? I just had it up. Right. So here's the thing about EV technology is that while it is evolving quickly, a lot of companies are adopting this technology now, and which is to be expected. When one company starts doing something and there is a sort of open market for other companies to do it their way, there's a lot of different competition, right? And with EVs, it's the same as when internal combustion engines first, were emerging and becoming more popular. Is all these companies at the time were basically fighting for first place. Now, I will say some of these vehicles I don't really think are very consumer oriented. Not for the average consumer, at least. I feel like a lot of these companies sort of only made an EV because another company was making an EV. I don't think there's a lot of innovation with certain models. I'm not saying with all models. I'm not going to specify which company either. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that some companies could have been a little bit more original, I guess. But I think there's a couple that I really want to touch on, specifically with Cadillac. Now, these new Cadillac EVs are very, very nice. I have sat inside a few of them, and they are quite nice. They are quite luxurious. Obviously, it's a Cadillac, so the price tag reflects that. But, I think Cadillac is doing a great job with the way they're making these EVs. They are very much different to Cadillac's regular line of vehicles. You have a different, there are similarities, obviously, right? A brand's image is going to be reflected in every vehicle that they create, right? Past and future and present. So Cadillac is doing the same type of styling, but I do like how when it comes to their EVs, they really do try to lean into the EV look, I guess. With that big light bar up front, like looking at the Cadillac IQ, and they have brand new names for all these models too. There's not just the Cadillac EV, it's not just the XT4 EV. They're really making these one of one bespoke kind of vehicles, and I like that they're doing that way. It gives the consumer a lot more options, and I like that Cadillac has a lot of different lines for every type of consumer. They have the Optic for a regular size SUV. They have the Lyriq for a mid-size SUV, I'd say. They have the Vistique, which is like a smaller smaller Escalade, and they have the Escalade IQ, right? They also have this Cadillac Celestiq, which is, it's like if you imagine like a really long, like Rolls Royce kind of thing, but like it has like a sloping roofline at the back, like a Rolls Royce Ghost kind of, but it's like really long, and it's electric, and this thing starts at a crazy price point. Like like they're all made completely bespoke. Like they all have their own, like customers pick and choose everything on the interior of these cars, from the color to stitching, all that stuff. It's 18 feet long. 18 feet. This car, I'm pretty sure, is as long, or I think a bit longer than the Escalade, which is crazy because the Escalade has 3 rows and this car has 2 rows. And if you watch MKBHD, or you watch his other channel, Autofocus, which I watch a lot, you see that he actually reviewed a lot of these cars. The Cadillac Celestiq, he reviewed that. He's reviewed the Vistique. He's reviewed the Optic, the Lyric, and I think he has reviewed the Escalade IQ too. But again, I like what Cadillac's doing with all their EVs. I think that in terms of a luxury EV, Cadillac is doing it the right way. Other companies might be making EVs too. Like I was looking on this list, and the BMW EVs are also there, right? I'm not discounting those, but I think like the difference with that is that BMW's EVs kind of look the same as their regular line, if that makes sense. I think even like the BMW i5, right? They have the 5 Series, the new one, the M5, which everyone knows is that big boat looking one, the brand new one. But the i5, it basically just looks like the M5, but it doesn't have an open front grille. There's no difference. The styling is all the same. It's the same body style. It's the same body shape. The car looks the same, right? And so from far, you wouldn't really even notice that it's an EV, but it is. And like that goes the same for the BMW i4. And Audi is doing the same. It's kind of similar thing with their EVs, like the Q4 e-tron, the Q6 e-tron, the e-tron GT, which the e-tron GT, I will give credit. They just did a facelift of that car, and I very much like how the new facelift look is very aggressive. And so in terms of the facelift, Audi's doing something very unique there. Obviously, it shares the chassis with the Panamera. Not the Panamera. What am I talking about? The Porsche. What's it called? The Porsche. You know what I'm talking about? The Porsche EV. That one EV that they have. But it shares that platform, and so it is a nice car. Don't get me wrong. I do like what Audi and Porsche have done with this car. I think it's nice. It's a very fast, sportback, long type of vehicle. It's nice. But like the BMW i4 is like probably the best example I can give of this. It is quite literally just a 4 Series, right, with no front grille. And yeah, I know the 4 Series. It's the i4 is technically like the I don't know. It's hard to describe. Like the i4 is like if the 3 Series had a 4 Series front end, if that makes sense. Like it's I don't know. It's not for me personally. I don't really like it. But I don't know. I kind of think that when it comes to styling, especially with EVs, you want to. I guess my opinion is that I think companies should really lean into that futuristic look, trying to sort of pack in all this EV technology in a car that looks the same as a car that anyone could have gotten a couple of years ago. I think it's sort of arbitrary, and it sort of takes away the futuristic aspect of what a lot of EV owners are kind of looking for. I think if you're buying a Cadillac EV, then you're probably looking for that sort of futuristic, like that type of look, And so if you are looking for that, then I think there's a lot better options than what BMW or Audi is offering. A few other cars on this list are this basically goes through all of the EVs of 2026. All the ones that are out this year. And so, my lighting fell down. Fix that. So Chevrolet is on this list. Now, Chevrolet, not a company I'm a very big fan of personally. I love the Camaro. I love the Corvette. I think they should. I personally think they should stick to internal combustion. But obviously, every company is going to want to make an EV, and so this is their go at it. They make the Chevrolet Bolt. They made the Equinox EV. They have the Blazer EV. And they have the Silverado EV, okay? Electric trucks. We could talk about that. Electric trucks, I think electric trucks are like the perfect application of electrification in automotive spaces. Now, hear me out on this, because the thing with regular gas trucks is you have to deal with, or you have to try to figure, or like companies basically have to try to figure out getting enough torque to tow and carry all these things and, all that stuff. Here's the thing, though, is that when you think about the actual uses of a truck, you want torque. You want instant torque, especially if you're towing stuff for long distances. You want something that's comfortable, and if you're doing something for long distances, you want something that's quiet, right? Electric trucks tick off all of those. Other than the weight of the truck itself, electric trucks are just the ideal platform to make electric. And you can see it with the F-150 Lightning. They have the Sierra EV now, and now they have the Silverado EV. And in my opinion, this is a great direction for trucks to go. The truck. I don't know. I think it's just it's a good direction because it answers all the problems that a lot of people might already have. The instant torque makes it great for towing, especially towing heavy loads. It's heavy, right? So it might stay planted. Yeah, it might be heavy. So it's like a, it's a weight thing, and it'll take like bigger brakes and you need a bigger battery, all that stuff, understandably. But if there's cars that are electric, if there's cars that are electric, they're heavy, and their only purpose is to basically just provide a comfortable drive. And if they're not towing anything, then you sort of, I guess, lose the full capabilities of having an electric drivetrain. The towing part, I think, is very important. For certain people, obviously, if you're a contractor, or if you own a company like that, or if you work somewhere where you need to have a truck that can tow. Listen, as technology gets more advanced and stuff, I think a lot of these electric trucks are going to become more popular, because I just think it's a good application for electric technology. While I understand the traditional truck owners that are like, gas only, we don't like electrification, we don't like electric cars, that's fine, man. And in some regard, I do agree with you. There's a sort of ease that comes with having a regular gas car. Not to mention, you could work on it yourself. Obviously, if you work in an environment where you're towing a lot of stuff, you also probably want to be able to fix your truck if something ever does happen. And I understand that, but I do think in terms of towing capacity or instant torque, you're not getting better than an electric. That's just a fact. And you can kind of see it with the amount of electric trucks that are coming out now. The GMC Sierra EV, another one that's on this list, is very nice. I honestly I love this truck. MKBHD did a video on this one on his autofocus channel, and I very much like how this truck looks. It is 8,000 pounds, so that's a lot. It's quite a bit of pounds of lbs. However, I think it's great. I think I like what GMC is doing, and so a couple other cars that are on this list, the Honda Prologue. I haven't heard anything about this car. I don't even know what this. I don't even know what this is. It's an SUV. I think it's a mid-size SUV, and I couldn't even tell you what if this car is nice or not. I've seen a handful of them on the road. They look pretty nice, I guess. I don't know what the range is like on them. The Ioniq 5, the Ioniq 5N. The Ioniq 5N, let me tell you something about this car, is I don't like it personally. I personally don't like it. And I'll tell you why, is because having been inside one, it's a little bit underwhelming. I guess I expected more. But again, it is a Hyundai, and for an entry-level EV, it is actually a quite nice option. I'm not changing that, but the Ioniq 5N basically rivals with the Mustang Mach-E, which that car I've heard is quite quick and has good handling. And I haven't really looked too much into the comparisons between the two. But I do like both cars. I've been in both cars before, and I like them. They're both nice. Personally, I would still choose the Hyundai. I'm just not a big Ford fan. That's the personal thing. But I would choose the Hyundai. I do like how the Ioniq 5N looks. It looks very mean, which is nice. Right, next we have the Ioniq 9, the Hyundai Ioniq 9. This car won, I think, EV of the year, if I'm not wrong. And this car, like, I think Hyundai, like, just they hit the mark on this car. They really did hit every metric they needed to. It is quite affordable for what it is. It's a 3-row electric SUV. It has good range. It has a nice look. And I personally think it's just it's a comfortable driving car. I've seen a couple reviews on this car, and in terms of electric cars, I mean this car you can't go wrong with. It's three rows, so for anyone that has a big family and stuff, it's good for them. And it being a Hyundai, it is quite affordable, and Hyundai actually does quite well with their interior design. And so, you know, for what you're paying, you're getting top-notch quality. So you can't really complain there. A couple other ones that are on this list, Jeep Wagoneer S. I saw a review for this car. I heard it was very underwhelming. Again, autofocus. If you don't know what it is, go check it out, search it up. And he does a lot of electric car reviews, which is why I even know anything about these cars. Wagoneer S, I heard it's very it's all right. It's not really a ground up EV. They sort of just took the same car and just put an EV powertrain in it, and so that it's kind of just boring. The Jeep Recon. This is a car I've actually never heard of. I'm just reading this list. This is the first time I've even seen it. And so it says the Jeep Recon is a mid-size electric SUV with a focus on off-roading, featuring 650 horsepower, four-wheel drive, and the ability to remove the doors. Interesting. Okay, well that's cool. I guess. I mean, I wouldn't really expect Jeep to go electric, but I guess that's cool. I mean, like, I wonder how it's gonna be. I don't know if is it already out. Maybe I've never even seen this before. Oh, it is actually out. Wow, I have never seen this car before in my life. Okay, well that's quite nice. Next one. This is actually what I'm very excited to talk about. The Kia EV6. Now, if you have been on Instagram, I don't know if you've might not have seen this account, but there's a person that has a blue Kia EV6. It's lowered. It has some nice, kind of plate style black wheels on it. It's clean. It is very clean. It's dark blue. But this car, I love how this car looks. Like, this car, they got the styling perfect on this car. The proportions are nice. They have all the right lines, and it looks like an EV. Like, it looks how an EV should look. And in my opinion, that's very important. It is a mid-size SUV, and it's in the same class as the Mustang Mach-E or the Ioniq 5, which personally I feel like the Ioniq 5 is actually more of a small SUV, but I guess they classified as that. The Kia EV9 shares the same platform as the Hyundai Ioniq 9, and so it's a 3-row SUV. It's the same size as the Kia Telluride, basically. So it is a 3-row SUV, and so it has the same amount of space. The Kia Niro EV, this car, I just don't like how it looks, so we're not even going to talk about it. The Lexus RZ. I think I've seen this car a couple of times in the wild, if you will. I personally haven't really been a fan of how it looks. It looks a little bit weird. It looks kind of like the ugly duckling of the family, which is fine. It looks different, and they went with that with electrics. I'm just not a big fan of Lexuses in general. I don't know. Maybe I just don't like. I don't know. I just don't really like. Other than the Lexus LC 500 and the RCF and all the I guess legacy cars that Lexus has, I'm not a big fan of their new lineups. The Lotus Elitra. Have I seen this car before? The Lotus Electra. So it's a small size. It's a small size SUV. It's a mid-size SUV, I guess. It's all-wheel drive. I mean, it looks pretty cool. I don't really know why Lotus would need an SUV that's electric, but to each their own, I guess. If Lotus feels like they need that for the lineup, they can have that. Lucid is a company that like. I like surprisingly have been very happy to see on the roads. Now, if you've seen any review of these cars, you know they are jam-packed with features, and for the price that you're paying, obviously it is a luxury EV. It is expensive. However, for the price that you're paying, you really do get that luxury back. Compared to a Tesla, I think Lucid is a much better option. And if you could find one for a comparable price, I think Lucid is the obvious choice. It has good range. It has good horsepower. It has a pretty big battery. And there's also, like, I don't know. I just like how they look. They're styled nicely. I like the usability of all of the space in the car. It has a pretty nicely sized trunk. And the styling is just on point. Like, they really hit the mark on this style. The Lucid Gravity, okay? The Lucid Gravity. So this is the Lucid Gravity. I was just talking about the Lucid Air, right? Lucid Gravity is a 3-row SUV. Now, it's a 3-row luxury SUV. So, mind you, it does bode a pretty hefty price tag. But, listen, for all intensive purposes, I think it's completely worth it. If you have watched a review on this car or you've seen this car before, this car is beautiful. Like, I personally think it's one of the prettiest looking EVs out there right now. They really did well with the styling on this car, and it's a 3-row SUV, so it's practical. And all of the creature comforts that are inside this car are very, very helpful for, you know, certain types of people. And I think that that is commendable. I like that they didn't really compromise anything, but they still keep a price tag that's actually quite reasonable for everything that you're getting. Lucid has for a while been the king of you know, bang for your buck. You know, if you're going to be spending that much money on an EV, you might as well get something like that, and that you have a little bit of style, a little bit of character in your EV as well. Maserati. Now, this is a car I actually didn't even think would be on this list. I don't actually know about this car. The Maserati Gran Turismo and Gran Cabrio Folgore, I think. Now, I don't really know what they're doing with this. I couldn't really tell you how they're advertising this. I honestly have never seen this car in my life. But it is basically a Gran Turismo with an electric powertrain. It's a sports car. It's a luxury sports car. And they also have the Grecale Folgore, I think. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering these titles. I don't really know Maseratis like that. Mercedes now. Mercedes, their EQ line. I gotta say, I kind of like them. I kind of like them. I like them quite a bit, honestly. The EQE SUV. I like how they're positioning this car. I like everything they're doing with it. Again, it goes back to the same argument of, if you're going to make it EV, make it look a little bit different too. And Mercedes really did well with this car. The EQE SUV, it's a quite nice SUV, and listen, it's fast. It's apparently very fast. The EQS. Very nice. It's a luxury sedan. It's basically like the S-Class but electric. And again, I like that they actually made it look electric. Like, they didn't just take an S-Class and cover the front grille and call it a day. They actually made this, like, it looks like a ground up EV that they made. The EQS SUV, which is a bit smaller of an SUV, but it looks a bit more like a regular SUV. They have the E-Sprinter, which is, I guess, like for companies or whatever. And they have the EQE, which is like their small sedan, small sedan. And yeah, you know what? Mercedes is also doing quite well in the EV space. I've seen a lot of their EVs out on the road, and they do have a pretty high price tag, but for good reason. It's a Mercedes, obviously it does. They have the G580 with EQ technology. It's basically like an EV G-Wagon. and I've seen a couple reviews for this car. I gotta say, kind of boring. I don't know. It's just like it's just like a G class with an EV powertrain. Now, no hate to the G class. I do like the G63, all that stuff, but it's just not my style personally. Like I would never really own one. The Mini Countryman Electric. I don't know much about minis. I will say this car does look quite nice from what I'm seeing. And it's a compact SUV, so it's pretty small, but I do think it looks nice. I think I saw an autofocus video about this car, and it has a couple quirks, and so I can always appreciate a couple quirks. When a car has more character, I think it's always nice. The Nissan Leaf, which I've seen a couple of these cars out in the wild now. I don't know if Nissan's giving like really good prices on them. Wow, it is bright outside. Can you see that? The lighting's crazy. I don't know if Nissan's giving really good prices on these or something, but yeah, I have seen a lot more of them in the wild. And so I don't know. I like the styling. I don't really know anything about the range. 303 miles of estimated range, which is okay from an SUV, I guess, which is decent. The Polestar. Listen, Polestar is another company that I'm actually I've been quite impressed with. I like what Polestar is doing with how their EVs look. Now Polestar mainly does EVs, I'm pretty sure, but I kind of just like what they're doing. Like, it's just the styling is there. Volvo, keep doing whatever you're doing, because I like it. Polestar 4, Polestar 3, both beautiful cars, have decent range. The Porsche Macan Electric. Okay, this is a beautiful car. I will be the first to say this is a very beautiful car. I love how it looks. That's what it is. The Porsche Taycan. The e-tron GT shares a platform with the Porsche Taycan. Basically the same powertrain, I guess, but different body style. It's different body. It's still 4-door, like sort of sports coupe type thing, but it looks very nice. I like it. I like the Porsche Taycan. I like the e-tron GT. I want to know what you guys think about this. What do you guys think about Rivian? I've talked to a couple of friends about this car, about this not this car, but this company, I guess. They now have the R1S, which is the SUV. It's a 3-row SUV, and they have the R1T, which is their truck. And I gotta be honest, I think going with the simple look, it's very nice. It's nice to see, I guess, because while EVs, I guess, like because they're futuristic, right? Like, every company wants their car to look more complex, I guess, or like, more futuristic than the last. However, I think it's nice that Rivian's going super simple. They don't really have like a ton of crazy styling, but I think this is good for the minimalist type of person that enjoys, a car that isn't super flashy or super out there. This is a very nice car. And I've heard that the trucks are actually quite durable, which you can't say about the Cybertruck, obviously, because it's a Cybertruck. Rolls-Royce Spectre. This is for big ballers. This is extra premium luxury. That's what we're looking at here. The Rolls-Royce Spectre, it's has a 577 horsepower, 664 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds, and it's completely silent. Now, this is a car that should be EV when it comes to luxury, and if you want the best like driving experience and you want to have it be as silent as possible, the Rolls-Royce Spectre, I mean, you can't really go get any better than that. And that's like the highest, the most luxurious EV that you could possibly get. The Subaru Uncharted, this vehicle I think just came out. It's a subcompact. It's like the Toyota CHR, like on the likes of that. And then the Subaru Solterra, which is Also, an EV. Now, Subaru has actually recently like expanded their EV offerings quite a bit, and it is nice to see. I actually very much like how they're styling these, and they do look like actual EVs, which I do appreciate. And you can't really go wrong with that, you know. So they have they have three models now. They have the Uncharted, the Solterra, and the Trail Seeker. The Trail Seeker is essentially like the what's it called? It's sort of like a wagon. It's like the Subaru Forester, I guess, or I guess the Solterra is like the Subaru Forester, and then this is like the Subaru Outback, basically. But again, very nice cars, and I do like that what they're doing with it. Obviously, all the Teslas are on this list, which we're not going to talk about because I don't really like Teslas personally. I don't really like how they look. Yeah, the CHR is on here. The Toyota BZ, which I also don't really like much. VinFast. VinFast is a company that I actually saw at the, what was it? The 2024 International Auto Show? Was it maybe 2023? But VinFast, the VinFast VF8, the VF8, the VF9, both actually quite nice cars. I've seen very few of them on the road, but I've heard that they have good pricing and you're getting a lot for what you're paying for. Now, I hope that I could fix all of this lighting in post with color grading. I hope I can, because it is very bright that from what I can see on the screen right here. The VF9, yeah. Volkswagen ID4, also okay. Volvo and Polestar are doing great in EV. My voice is cracked. Volvo and Polestar are both doing really good in the EV markets. Now, they have a couple models now, Volvo. They have the EX30, the EX40, and the EX90. And if you've seen a review of the EX90, you know that this car is very, very nice. They really did well with making that luxury feel sort of personified. You could tell from the outside, you could tell from the inside, and nice thing is you could actually tell that it's an EV. They didn't just make this the same as the Volvo X90 and just call it a day. You know, like they didn't just put an EV powertrain in that car and keep it all the same. This actually is a very, very well built car. Again, autofocus. I will link them in the description. If you want to know more about EVs, go watch all their videos. I love watching their videos. They review a lot of nice new cars, hybrids, EVs. They reviewed the Corvette Z06, the brand new one. And they reviewed this car. And Marquez, he talks about how this car is his favorite car that he's reviewed, I think. He named this his car of the year of 2025. And honestly, after watching the review, I don't blame him. It is very nice. And apparently the speakers are also very, very nice in this car. But this is a nice car. I do like Volvo's, I guess, approach with their EV lineup. It's very simplistic, but you can get that Volvo styling in the car, which is nice. Like, I do like when companies stick to that style. But you know, just speaking to EVs in general, I think that a lot of people, I guess, sort of clap back at EVs, you know, because they're like, oh, it won't be, it's not sustainable, all that stuff. And while I do agree with that, I do agree with you on that. I also think that there is going to come a point in time when a lot more people are going to be driving EVs than actual combustion vehicles. And I'm seeing that with my eyes right now. Like, it's very, very clear. Like, it's very, like, just by like look, like I can kind of just tell, like, I'm seeing more EVs on the road every single day. And this isn't a bad thing. I think it's wrong to resist it. I think, if anything, it makes it more accessible for everyone to have EVs if they want one. You know, more companies are making them, then more people can have them. And if you don't want one, then don't have one, you know? Combustion engines are always going to be a thing, in my opinion. I think they're kind of crucial to our society, and you know, like that whole market is not going to go away automatically. But just for a second, think of the other people that want EVs, and think about the fact that you can have whatever car you want, and they can have whatever car they want, right? but resisting it and condemning the want for EVs is sort of wrong, because like some people only need an EV. Some people only commute a couple kilometers every day to work. To them, an EV is ideal. Some people don't drive their car in the winter. To them, an EV is ideal. All these different situations, and people can have their combustion vehicles. But listen, personally, I would never own an EV until like I was like much older, and I ever felt like I needed one. But I do understand the appeal, and so I'm glad I got to talk about it in this episode. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode. It was a lot of me just yapping about this stuff. But again, this is stuff I enjoy. And so if I was talking really quickly, or if I was like stumbling over my words, I'm just like, there's a lot of thoughts that I'm thinking, right? And so if I can't get them all out coherently, I apologize for that. But that is it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to see clips for this podcast, go check out the Open Garage Instagram channel. I will link that in the description. I will also link my vlog channel. I post vlogs sometimes. I posted 2. They're both gym vlogs, and I will be posting 2 more this week, hopefully. And I appreciate you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys next week. Peace.